You filthy __, defending a thief. You're trash, all of you. That's what Officer Malik Mitchell spat as he launched a kick at the black woman who'd just walked into the courtroom. A woman who, as fate would have it, was Lena Carter, the brand new police chief, sworn in just hours before. She didn't come to play by the rules, didn't ask for permission. She came to rip the lid off the rotten system Mitchell had been milking for years. And when her name was finally announced, every last soul in that room went stone-cold silent. Mitchell, who'd run this circus so long, felt his kingdom crumbling right under his feet. And Lena? She just stared him down, cold and steady. A walking reminder that justice doesn't bow to anyone, not even the men who think they own it. Which state do you live in, anyway? And do the cops protect people, or just the powerful? Depends on who you ask and which side of the bench you're on. It was just another sleepy Wednesday in Courtroom 3, Millstone District. Fluorescent lights flickered, the air smelled stale, the benches were old, and there were no cameras. Just tired locals who all knew the unspoken rule. If you come in here cuffed, you're walking out convicted, no matter how long the trial actually lasts. And right in the middle of it was Aaron Carter, 17, black, face still soft, trying to keep cool, but every time they said his name, his jaw clenched a little tighter. They had him up for stealing a watch, just valuable enough to call it a felony. No fingerprints, no real video, just a store clerk's word and a cookie-cutter indictment. Mitchell ran security that morning, ironed uniform, sharp eyes, silver badge faded but still a warning. He didn't need to talk. His whole vibe was a threat, silent but clear. Don't step out of line. Don't even breathe too loud. And right then, all that heat was pointed at Aaron, not with suspicion, but contempt, as if the color of his skin was already proof enough. To Mitchell, quick convictions meant peace. No need for evidence when your gut tells you everything you think you need to know. The prosecutor, Ames, didn't bother putting on a show. He painted Aaron as a troublemaker with a history of incidents, which, if you dug a little, just meant Aaron had been late to homeroom a couple times. The defense? Just a tired woman with shaking hands who asked the judge to see youthful misjudgment instead of long-term risk. It wasn't a defense. It was surrender. And no one blinked. Everyone was just waiting for the final act. That's when the rear door creaked open, quiet but impossible to ignore. In walked Lena Carter, black coat, hair tied back, calm as still water, didn't apologize, didn't flinch. She just walked right up front, took her place, and stood so damn steady it threw off the whole room. Mitchell saw her, frowned. He didn't know her yet, just saw someone who wasn't afraid, which in that place was rare as rain in the desert. No badge, no lawyer, nothing to say she belonged. And still, she held the room by just being there. When Mitchell tried his usual intimidation, slow walk, the big man glare, she didn't budge. Eyes locked, no apology, just defiance, the kind that says, "Go ahead, see what happens." Mitchell barked at her. "Who do you think you are?" But Lena just opened her folder, held up a paper for the judge, and ignored him, which only made him angrier. "Get out," he snapped, voice clipped, face flushed. But she just sidestepped him, steady as ever, eyes on the judge. Every muscle in Mitchell's neck was twitching, but all he could do was grind his teeth as she said, cool and clear, "My brother, Aaron Carter, isn't even 18. He's never been sentenced, never had a record. You have no right to call him a thief." Every word hit like a sledgehammer. The gallery didn't cheer, but for the first time, someone stood up against the script. You could feel the tension shift. Mitchell lost it. "You filthy __," he shouted, voice raw and ugly. "You people are society's trash." For the first time in his career, he was the one on the back foot. The judge tried to call for order, but his voice was a whisper against the storm. Mitchell, desperate, snapped. He kicked Lena hard in the chest. The sound echoed, wood, paper, skin against the old benches. She hit the ground, but didn't cry out, just pulled herself up, face set, breath tight. Every eye in the room watching, not in pity but in shock. Then, finally, Lena spoke. "If you can act like this in court, in front of a judge, what have you done when no one was watching?" It was a question that didn't need an answer. She wasn't just fighting for Aaron anymore. She was indicting the whole damn system. When Lena revealed her badge, the new chief of police, official, in writing, Mitchell went pale. Every face in the courtroom turned away from him. By nightfall, video of Mitchell's kick was everywhere. Not just shaky phone clips, but news, social, everyone dissecting every frame, every insult. The internet exploded, half the country calling for Mitchell's head, the other half making excuses, blaming Lena, even calling her an angry black woman. The old machine circled the wagons. News got scrubbed. Official emails urged outlets to pause coverage. But the story wouldn't die. Lena didn't run to the cameras. She dug into files, found years of complaints against Mitchell buried, erased, covered with fake commendations. She tracked down witnesses, people like Kevin, a teenager who'd seen the real theft and watched Aaron chase the true thief. Evidence finally surfaced. Security footage, the stolen watch returned by Aaron, not stolen by him. It took a kid's courage and a chief's stubbornness to drag the truth into the light. Mitchell was suspended, then arrested. No parade, no one waving goodbye, just a tired man, stripped of his badge, being led into a detention center where nobody feared him anymore. In jail, he was just another number, watched by the same people he once ordered around. The old boys club dropped him like a bad habit. Emails deleted, endorsements pulled, silence everywhere he looked. Lena kept digging, reopening case after case, building a team of people wronged by the system, not to restore faith, but to ask real questions, trace every bad decision back to its roots. Complaints once erased were now doors to the truth. For the first time, every citizen could rate police interactions. Patterns of abuse got flagged. Officers had to answer to the people they policed, not just the chain of command. Millstone changed. It wasn't overnight. The city didn't throw a parade. But bit by bit, justice got its own seat at the table. Lena didn't ask to be a hero. She just kept showing up, putting names back in the record, making sure silence no longer meant safety for those who abused power. The Mitchell case stopped being a story about one bad cop. It became a blueprint for every town that's ever shrugged off injustice with a sigh and a look away. Lena stood up, not to topple the system, but to show it what it really looked like in the mirror, and to ask, if you let this happen, what kind of place do you want to live in? Now, that's where I'll leave you. Because if you're still listening, maybe you've got something to say about it. So here's my question. In your city, who protects you? The law or the people who claim to enforce it? Where do you stand when the silence breaks? Tell me in the comments. What would you have done, and what would you do now? Justice isn't a show, it's a choice. Your move.